Hey guys, we're back. It's been quite a long break. We didn't really mean to take such a long break, but we have a new family member joining Olsen Family Electric Adventures. We got a brand new baby boy. He's about 3.5 months old and doing great, but life has been a lot more busy, so we haven't really had time for videos. But we're trying to get back into it, and boy, we've got a reason to make a video now. We got a free 1-month trial of Tesla full self-driving. I'm pretty sure it was a birthday present to me from Elon, but maybe not. I think everybody got it. But it's been fun. It's been very interesting. Definitely have a lot of pros and a lot of cons. It's been really interesting to see how it handles different scenarios and what it's useful for, what it's not useful for, what they've nailed, what they still need to work on. Yeah, it's interesting. We definitely have a lot of thoughts to give. So we are going to hop in and have it drive us to lunch. And you'll see over my shoulder, there's another addition to the family, a Cybertruck. Finally got my Cybertruck. It's little. It's smaller than they promised. Look how small it is. Yeah, that thing's been a lot of fun too. We might do a video about that at some point. But let's hit the road. All right, we're about to have our electric chauffeur take us to lunch today. So first of all, for engaging FSD, it's pretty easy. You're gonna tell it where you're going, first of all. So we'll punch our little voice command button here. Navigate to Rock and Rolls Sushi, Raleigh. And it's thinking, coming up with a couple routes. We're gonna grab the route that takes us through town a little bit. All right, so I've got my navigation up. That's no different than you would always do. And then to turn on autopilot, it's just one push on the gear stalk. And it's driving. All right, and normally we've just got the map up with our route highlighted. That's how you would normally drive. But I actually really like just watching the renderings, the FSD renderings. So over here, it's showing the car driving. If you just swipe over, you can make it full screen. And it's really cool when you get to busy intersections. Like, you know, you've got four directions, 2 or 3 lanes each. It's pretty cool, and it's really good. I mean, it sees a lot more than you would think it could see. I mean, I know there's 8 cameras, it's a 360-degree view, but still, like, you can see pretty far and in angles you wouldn't really expect. So it's pretty cool to see what it's rendering. And as I'm turning, it pulls up the camera showing my blind spot. All right, so there's a good bit of pros and cons. Nothing really glaring with the cons. And in fact, some of the cons could be spun as a positive. Biggest thing I've noticed is it's very, very hesitant. Obviously, the idea is to be safe, and you know, you want it to be err on the side of caution in almost every scenario. So it's almost hesitant to a fault. One little example, it comes to a full stop for a few seconds at every stop sign, which sounds obvious, but if you've got a clear view in every direction and you can see like a half a mile down the road every way, like sitting there for a couple of seconds at a stoplight really annoys the person behind you. So stuff like that. The few disengagements I've had have been from it just being a little too cautious. You know, you can set the assertiveness level of overtaking slower traffic, but just in general, it is very, very cautious. But again, the idea is for this to be very safe. They want it to get approved across the board through many regulatory bodies, and the first things first is safety. But man, boy, it is really hesitant. Another thing is picking a lane, like when there's a double left turn lane, it just sort of wibble wobbles, like, do I want to be in the far left or the inside left? And it just can't decide, and it almost gets kind of dangerous, or probably more annoying than dangerous, but the person behind you is like, oh my God, just pick a lane, and it's just trying to decide. That's kind of annoying. I would say those are the biggest cons. Also, it's operating just off of vision, and it's very, very good, but it sometimes doesn't pick up on stuff that we would. Like, it was taking me to a park the other day, and the entrance to the park had a big dip in the driveway, and I knew that was there, but it didn't know, and it couldn't really see it. And boy, we hauled into the driveway, and it jolted everybody because it didn't know there was a dip, because it didn't really look like there was one. So the vision is very, very good, but it doesn't always know stuff. It's not always able to intuit, that dip is going to be there in certain situations. But yeah, hesitancy, can't make up its mind with lane changes. And then there's just stuff that we just know. We know our neighborhood. We know certain driveways and stuff. Little quirks that we know the car obviously doesn't know. But again, nothing glaring. The positives, it is extremely safe. I mean, I do not worry at all. I'm not about to, stop paying attention or, try and fall asleep. Not that you could. But it is very, very safe. It reacts quicker than a human. I mean, from you seeing a car pulling over, your brain telling your foot to hit the brake is slower than the car. Like the car is ultra fast and extremely safe, and like it's got a 360-degree view, and it's thinking all the time, as opposed to a human that's got looking straight ahead with just two eyes that are facing the same direction, and also thinking about all the chores you have to do later on. It's got unbelievable compute power, 360-degree view angle, and it's just thinking constantly. So it is unbelievably safe. Safety is not an issue whatsoever. They've solved that. That I would say that's the biggest pro. Another pro. I'm just trying to think. It's very smooth. In the earlier versions, I think it was kind of herky-jerky, sort of operated like a 15-year-old with their learner's permit. But it is really, really smooth. It genuinely feels, I jokingly call it our electric chauffeur, but it feels like somebody is driving you. So they've ironed out the wrinkles of earlier versions being very stop and go, kind of jerky. So yeah, there's some cons, there's some pros. My overall thoughts, each iteration is pretty impressive, and it's only getting better and better, and from what I can tell, increasing exponentially with the training data. So every release is better than the last. But I will say, I'm a big Tesla fan. I know they have objectively the best engineers on the planet. I am skeptical of a robotaxi network without a steering wheel, without pedals, being released anytime within the next 3 or 4 years. There's just so many corner cases that haven't appeared, and I'm just picturing a person just sitting there while they're getting honked at, thinking, what do I do? What can I do? While it's, trying to navigate some squirrely construction site or something. I don't know. It is improving fast, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but man, we're operating on the latest version here, and there's a number of things where I'm like, this isn't out of the ordinary. You should be able to handle this. So after a month of this, I think people will buy self-driving because it'll be very convenient, and it makes road trips so nice and so easy, and takes the stress out of, a long trip up I-95 or something. So there is absolutely a use case, even without the robotaxi network. It's a fun thing. It's a convenience thing. It's a safety feature. So it is good, and I think they'll sell a good bit of FSD packages, but I don't think a robotaxi network is anywhere close. But I love it. It's fun. I turn it on every chance I get, and I'm going to be really bummed when our month ends. But they have dropped the price. It's only $99 a month if you want to subscribe to it, and I think just buying it outright is down to $8,000. So it's, I think that's a pretty good deal. I don't think they're overcharging for it, even with the negatives that I mentioned. It's really impressive, and like I said, it's getting better. If you buy it, it's not like a static product that's just you buy it and it's done. It's getting better. So yeah, overall, I love it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But it's definitely not perfect yet. Keep your eyes on the road, hands by the wheel. This isn't this isn't level 5 fall asleep at the wheel kind of autonomy, but maybe it'll get there one day. But until then, we're gonna have fun following along. All right, hopping on the Highway 1, and got a double right turn lane. It navigated that nicely. Here's where it'll get interesting. There's no lane markers here. It's 2 lanes that kind of merges into one. So far, so good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there we go. It's turning on its blinker, merging over. Good job. Yeah, that was nice and smooth. And now I got a lane that's ending, so it sees that. It's highlighting the lane that we're getting into. All right. Did it all by itself, and it decided it wants to get all the way over. That's fine with me. Yeah, good job, car. Off we go. All right, we're almost there. It did a great job getting us over here. It's always interesting when we get to our destination to see where exactly it takes us. Generally, it tries to find the front door. So here's the shopping center. I'm just gonna sort of let it do its thing and see where exactly it takes us. Got a big fire truck in front of us. Let's see if it waits for it. I like to just see what kind of decisions it makes. I'm ready to take over if I need to. It sees all the people. Yeah, there we go. Waiting for this gentleman to cross the road. It navigates parking lots really well. I feel like it's very safe. And I don't think I've ever had to disengage in a parking lot, which is interesting. I feel like they've really, there's also a lot of training data. But yeah, it does a good job. Let's see, where is it? So this is where it drops us off. All right, I'm gonna take over. All right, little bonus footage here. I was not planning on putting our charging stop in the video, but this is wild. So we stopped at a mall. I can't recall the name of it. There's a big mall in Raleigh. Pulled up to the supercharger, and it's huge. There's 24 stalls. There's 24 stalls. There's a bunch of 150 kilowatt ones down there. Also pretty cool that they've got it labeled. So way down there is about a dozen 150 kilowatt, and then all these go up to 250. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen one with more than 12. I know out in California they've got some with like 50, and I think there's one in Las Vegas with like 100. This is the biggest one I've ever seen. Yeah, very cool. I love it. Oh man, we need more of these, and it's almost full. Jeez, there's like 4 open spots. Anyways, way to go, Tesla. Build more of these. This is awesome.